Well, there's quite a lot of military stories in the papers. We're going to go through them now. Writer Emma Wolfe and the journalist James Bloodworth are with us to take a look through. Good morning to you both.
Morning, gang.
How are you?
Yeah, good.
Politics, the repercussions of Sir Simon Clarke's letter loom quite large in the papers this morning. James, should we start with you? In the Telegraph, Sunak supposedly has, I'm quoting here, 6 weeks to save his premiership. Says who?
Tory critics, anonymous Tory critics, apart from Simon Clarke, they're warning him that he has. I mean, there's two by-elections on February the 15th, and there's also the budget on the 6th of March. So that's basically they're warning that he has that time to improve. Otherwise, they'll probably send another letter because I don't really know what else they're going to do. I can't see like who else is going to replace him. It's getting so close to an election now. I think those MPs who are backing Sunak, I mean, however poorly he's doing, that there is no alternative, really. So, I mean,
frankly, and I completely with James, anybody who's got any aspiration, and whether you agree with Clarke or not, anybody who's got any aspiration don't want to touch that poison chalice. What are you tipping me on the finger for? What? What are you doing? What? What are you saying?
Sorry, because you say I always look up to the left.
Yeah.
I thought you were teasing
If you
me
start on me,
out.
I'll talk about mackerel fishing. If I was an aspiring leader of the Tory party, I wouldn't want to touch it with a barge pole. I'd want Sunak, who has, by the way, is even less popular than Liz Truss. I'd want him to swallow this.
Unless there was some kind of miracle and you were an aspiring leader that we haven't yet heard of and you were going to somehow transform the Conservative Party's fortunes over the next, 6 months, it's really, really unlikely. It's kind of like adopting an animal that's got terminal condition.
So why are they doing
it is. You're right. You're so right.
And the thing is, I think that once again, one loses. I mean, Jeremy, we were talking about the fact that they didn't even rebel. The rebels didn't even rebel over Rwanda.
Just 11 MPs.
I can't use the word I want. It begins in A and ends in D. None of them can be right now, can they? They just want to get...
so cowardly. Even the coup, even the fact that many of them agree and they know they're facing extinction, if not, wipeout, whatever the words are. They don't even unite behind someone who says the truth.
By the way, very quickly, Sunak, wanted this and he's got it coming, and I'm sorry if that sounds harsh. Emma, the NHS, what is this? Should sell access to... What is that?
To our medical records, to NHS data. We have a lot of very valuable medical records, although you wouldn't believe it, in the NHS. And this unlikely alliance of Blair and Hague, Lord Hague and Tony Blair, have been uniting. They're writing in the Times to say that we should be selling this. So this is their new... The new national purpose is to harness the coming revolution in biotech and to embrace this whole thing about artificial intelligence doctors, i.e. not real doctors, AI doctors, and sell and get behind this.
So we should sell our personal details about treatments that we've had to help future generations. Are the British public going to benefit from that, or the NHS?
I think overall, we'll all benefit from it because I think it's anonymised. I mean, we're supposed to be, I suppose, scared by this, but I don't find it particularly scary. It's anonymised data to help develop treatments in the future. As long as again, it's a big if. As long as the data's kept securely. But I mean, what can someone do with my medical record anyway? I'm not that worried about that. I mean, if it improves treatments long term, I don't think it's a particularly bad idea.
I'd want money for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, and also...
I'll be worried about this generation
but can we be, confident in the security? Because we have had really, serious breaches. It's also just weird, Blair and Hague, because they were also calling for digital ID cards. I just think it's odd. But
Blair
I mean, they're really...
a bit dodgy.
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
Who they do business
Who are they
with.
selling it to? Who's he going to sell it to? They're talking about this is the best hope for the future of our country. This is essential to our economic growth. I mean, I think there are other things that the UK needs to do as well.
We do know that AI has so far provided some pretty significant breakthroughs in terms of medical treatment, so I guess they see this as a route to expediting that.
Yeah.
Let's move on. The Express front page. You will deliver. The Prime Minister vows that there'll be no Royal Mail cutbacks. What were the potential cutbacks?
So Ofcom the watchdog Ofcom has recommended is saying that Royal Mail is going to be unsustainable unless it basically changes the way it does its deliveries. So either cutting deliveries in half, delivering 3 days a week, not delivering on weekends.
I've got a really easy theory,
Sounds like what we've got.
Why don't you do your job and deliver on damn time? That might make you efficient, wouldn't it?
I mean, I used to be a postman.
No way!
Yeah, I was a postman for 3 years, yeah.
I've got to ask him. I'm sorry, I'm going to get into trouble. Did you ever get bitten by a dog?
A little bit. My
You ever
hand
get
in the letterbox.
propositioned by a half-naked woman whose husband had gone to work?
Not half naked, but there were things that happened like that
And
sometimes.
did you wear
Not
shorts?
just to me.
And did you wear shorts all through the winter?
Yes!
No.
Great
No.
question.
No?
I wore
Sorry,
gloves.
That's
trousers.
the best part ever of a paper review. Bitten, proposed and long trousers.
Ofcom's estimating that £200 million a year could be saved if they cut the delivery to 5 times a week. Yet Royal Mail's paid $2 billion to shareholders since 2013. Its 2 biggest owners, one's a Czech billionaire, the other's second biggest owner is a Swiss bank. And profits 2 years ago were 758 million. So, I mean, the money was there. The money has been there. The company is profitable. But the 2 CEOs, for example, were paid $1 million each 2 years ago.
It's like the water companies then.
When
you
they
think
money is there,
when you think
we don't
people's
need to
bills
cut
like the
deliveries.
water firms are going through the roof, when you think the Mail can't deliver, you know, and I wouldn't be the same politically as Jay, but I'm totally with him on this. And they're paying bosses bonuses. It's
Of course, the bosses,
joke.
yeah, but the bosses, the bonuses are an outrage. But when they say cutting them to 5 days a week, I think most of us would be pathetically grateful for 5 days a week, or cutting them to 3 days a week. Good, OK, deliver 3 days a week.
But I think
at the moment, it's
businesses
I know, but it's random, it's unreliable. I got a Christmas card the other day that someone had sent me 6 weeks ago in Surrey with a first-class stamp. I received the Christmas card. Where's it been for 6 weeks? That's a letter, a card, you know, a card. It's not a... And the postman, I asked him the next day, he said something about parcels. We have to do parcels.
Because what they're doing is prioritising their business to be better parcel delivery to take on the Amazon.
We're spending nearly £1, I think, on a first-class stamp.
I think it's more than £1 now, I'm not sure.
More than £1.
Yeah.
I'm going to get...
like
Do you remember that time
£1.20 or
Cameron was asked how much a pint of milk was? I think it's
Was it £1.20 or something?
16 or 17. I'm going to... Let us know, somebody, quickly, how much is a first-class stamp?
But
Not from the gallery.
The point is, it doesn't get delivered the next day, and that's what we should expect from a first-class delivery.
Of course. Harry and Meghan, I sort of braced myself a little bit in talking about this, James, in The Sun, sparked a new row. They were accused of provocative behaviour. Why so?
Yeah, so they've posed with the Jamaican politicians who are plotting. Plotting is a very inflammatory word. Who maybe are going to move out of the, you know, they'll still be in the Commonwealth, but the King Charles will no longer be the head of state. They're campaigning for the country to become a republic. I think it's slightly unfair, this headline, in that they've been photoed with lots and lots of people. If Jamaica does remove Charles as head of state, it will still be in the Commonwealth. We still do want to have good relations with them. But this is kind of being stirred up in the newspapers as, you know, it's inflaming this row with the palace and whatever.
Well, I think Meghan looks amazing. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And I love giving them...
Exactly, Emma,
I knew
you.
you'd agree, Rosie. No, but I enjoy giving them a kicking, whereas you don't. But I think in this case, they can't... Look at the past week. Have they publicly contacted the King and Kate? Have they not? If they do it publicly, we'll say...
I completely agree.
They're doing it in public again. If they do it privately, we say they haven't contacted them.
Completely
they can't
agree.
get
Spent half
it
my
right.
life in Barbados. They weren't independent. Completely give Jamaica that right. Completely understand. However, there are many people, you lot will call it stirring, who will say that everything they do, led by that woman, whatever you think, is for a reason. And to pitch up all of a sudden, having not been seen in Kingston, Jamaica, for a photo call with a man who's calling for a public, which is their right, Jamaicans, I make that point as you made it, James, with what's going on, is them playing a game. And that's why there's a story. But the great line is, they say nothing, they're damned. And do you know why they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't? Because they've lied that often that nobody believes a goddamn word.
I mean, they've created this situation. They've turned their backs on us, and they still want to be part. You know, they still want all the
look at your forehead now.
Glory and glamour of the royal family.
Should we talk mackerel fishing?
No, let's not. James, Emma, thank you both.
Thank you so
much.
A postman he was.
Very much.
We've learned so much this morning.
That was extraordinary. There are probably more questions on that a bit later.
He always delivers.
They'll be back in just under an hour.